But I'm glad I had real friends that were looking out for me and making sure I kept my priorities straight, But it's one of those things like when dating can get complicated really fast, right? It's tough to know if you're crushing on the right person, or if they're going to be good for you or bad for you, or if you should just stay single or whatever it is. And it's tough to know. And I think that's why so many of us are asking questions like, what are we supposed to be looking for in somebody that we want to date? But what kind of person are we supposed to be looking for? Because we get a lot of different ideas from a lot of different people about the kind of person we're supposed to be dating, about the kind of person. Maybe some of you, like your parents, are like, you know what, I don't care what you do, just don't be stupid, right? And they just kind of let you make those decisions. My dad actually told me, I in 8th grade, I told him I was interested in a girl, and I asked her to be my girlfriend, and he was like, okay, I think you're stupid, but okay. He literally said that to me, like in a loving way. He was like, I don't think you have a clue of what you're doing, but I'm not going to stop you. Don't be stupid. That's what he told me. And I tried not to be. Anyway, so I was in 8th grade, so that's where I'm going to leave it there. But there's a lot of areas in your life where you're looking at relationships, you're looking at people. You got people that you see in class, that you see in gym, that you see on wherever you're at, and you look, and it's that movie moment where like the wind's blowing just perfectly, and their hair, like Luke, stand up and just let the hair flow, and then look over here and be like, hey girl. Yeah. And it's that moment that you like lock eyes and you're like, how's it going? How you doing? And they like look at you, and it's like Peter Parker and MJ from like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, where they make the eye contact. She waves and he waves and starts to talk to her, and then her friend comes up and she was waving at the friend, and you're like, dang it, right? Like there's always that person that you see and you're like, oh, is she the one? Or ladies, maybe you're looking at him and you're going, is he the one? Is he the one that's going to complete me? Is he the one that is going to fulfill all my dreams and make me happy? And so it's one of those things that when we look at relationships, we got to know what we're supposed to be looking for. And this lesson today, this is why I say it's applicable to everybody, because it applies to like romantic relationships, but it applies to friendships, it applies to family members. And so what we're going to talk about today is going to be really important. But maybe the idea of how we're supposed to choose the kind of person the kind of people that we want to be close to us. We get different ideas on who those people should be, because maybe your parents, like I said, they're kind of hands off. They let you do whatever. But maybe you have parents that have a very specific idea of the kind of person you should be with and should not be with, and so you get some pretty firm ideas from a parent. Maybe how many of you are like your parents are like, you're too young to date? Anybody? That's okay. Yeah, that's cool. Honestly, my dad should have said that to me when I was your age. But some of your parents, they give you ideas on who you should or shouldn't go out with. They give you ideas on who you should and shouldn't be friends with too, right? Like, you are who your friends are. You should choose your friends wisely. Sometimes you get different ideas of who you should allow to be close to you from your friends. Like, how many of you're at a sleepover or you're hanging out with your friends at lunch, and they're like, you should go ask that person out, right? Or it's okay, yeah. Or sometimes it's a dare, but it's not really a dare. It's like, you should do it. Sometimes your friends are like, I saw that you were hanging out with so-and-so. What are you thinking? You shouldn't be hanging out with that person, right? Sometimes you get different ideas from your friends about who you should or shouldn't allow to be close to you. And then there's all the talk about dating and the kind of person you should be with from our TV shows, from social media, from what's in the movies, and what's portrayed as the picture-perfect relationship goals. And so we have all these different ideas floating around out there. The kind of person we're supposed to be looking for and the kind of people that we're supposed to be letting close to us. It seems like everyone is basing it off of different things. And maybe still there's a voice inside your head who's telling you who you should like and who you're not supposed to be around. Or if it's, maybe you have a voice inside your head that tell you shouldn't be interested in anybody at all, or there's one person, or there's a lot of people, and you're like, hey, whoever says yes, right? But you've got these voices inside your head, along with all the other voices in the world telling you the kind of people that you should allow to be close to you. And so the important question we should ask is, how do I know what and who is right for me? Okay, how many of you guys have ever asked that question? Whether it comes to friendships, relationships, your crush, whatever. How do I know what and who is right for me? This is a very relevant question that if you haven't asked, you should ask. Okay? Because who we allow close to us will shape the person we become. Okay? All of our relationships. The people that we allow to be close to us will shape the kind of person we become. So this is something that's really important to get right. So we're going to look at a passage that was written by the Apostle Paul, and he was writing to the church in Rome, and he was writing to some believers, writing to some Christians about how they should handle their relationships. And this verse is so incredibly applicable, again, in all of your relationships. And we know this is true because you've been, I'll read this to you, but you've been in the situation, you've been on the receiving end of somebody who did not do this well, what I'm about to read to you. And it hurts, it stings. It's not the way that you want to be, and it's not the kind of people you want in your life. But this is what Paul says in Romans chapter 12, starting in verse 9. He says this: don't just pretend to love others. How many you know somebody who just puts on a face? And you're not really sure if they really like you, if they're just pretending to like you, right? Don't just pretend to love others. Really love them, okay? Hate what is wrong. Hold tightly to what is good. Love each other with genuine affection and take delight in honoring each other. There's that word. We've talked about the word honor several times in this series, right? I'm going to take you back to the very first week when we started this series, okay? The best way to have all relationships starts with the greatest command that Jesus gave us, which is what? Anybody remember? Honor others as you honor yourself. Yeah, the golden rule, right? Jesus says, love the Lord your God, right? And then love your neighbor as you love yourself. So the way that we honor God, the way that we honor others, the way that we honor ourselves will largely dictate the direction we're kind of going when it comes to this stuff. And Paul adds to it. He goes, if you want to honor each other, you got to be genuine. You got to be authentic. You can't pretend to love others because people see through that and it's more hurtful, right? Don't just pretend to love others. Fake love isn't going to cut it. How many of you have had a friend like I had growing up that you were friends for a while, but then whenever you would be around other people at school or whatever, they were rude to you or would put you down in front of other people or maybe talk about you behind your back, and you're like, bro, I thought we were friends, right? Or, girl, I thought we were friends, right? You see those people? Sorry, I apologize. I'm not functioning very well. I have not had much sleep. But the retreat yesterday, first off, I'm really sore from bazooka ball and dodgeball. Anybody else? My knee hurts, my back hurts, my body hurts. But also, last night, I have a 4-year-old who just does not want to stay asleep in the middle of the night, so I woke up 20 times. So if I think of something that's funny, that's not actually funny, and I try to say it, my filter is not really great right now. So what you just saw was that, and I apologize. But you know what it's like to have somebody who's kind of like a fake friend. They pretend love you, they pretend like you, and you don't really know how they really feel about you. You just know that you get mixed messages from them, and it's not cool. So don't just pretend to love other people, right? And you don't want to be the kind of person that it's not good to be on the receiving end of that, but you don't want to be the kind of person that does that to other people too. Sometimes we do it out of our own insecurities, and we're just trying to fit in with the people that we're around, and so we put other people down around certain people, and then we kind of we want a friend when we're lonely, so we're nice to them when it's just us and them, right? But we've got to be secure in our own relationships, honoring to ourselves, honoring to the Lord, in order so that we can honor others, right? And so let our actions match our words and our thoughts. To be honest, to be kind, to be respectful, right? To be the same person in front of someone as we are behind their backs and behind a screen. It's so easy to be a different person behind your screen, where you'd say things that you would never say to somebody's face, right? Don't be that kind of person. Don't just pretend to love others. Be authentic, right? Which leads to the next one, hate what is wrong. Now, hate's a strong word, right? How many of you are like, I hate that person, and somebody around you was like, hate's a strong word, right? Like, I heard that one all the time growing up. Like, it is a strong word, but it's not saying hate other people. It's like hate what is wrong. Even God hates what is wrong, right? So it's okay as Christians to hate something if it's something wrong. Hate what is wrong. If you hate something that's wrong, hopefully that hate is a strong motivator to not do that thing. Hate what is wrong, okay? When it comes to dating, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to friendships, don't hate the person. But when you're thinking about who to allow close into your life, to be an influence into your life, to have the ability to affect your mood, to affect your self-esteem, when you're allowing people close to you, are those the kind of people that do things that are positive? I'm not talking about like the occasional struggle. I'm talking about as a general rule, if a person is more hateful than they are loving, is that the kind of person you want to allow to be super close to you? Right? The Bible talks about guarding your heart. Hate what is evil. Hate what is wrong. And then lastly, hold tightly to what is good. To give our energy, our time, and our attention to the people in our lives who are good and make wise decisions. Right? We talked about Psalm 1 not too long ago. It says, like, don't sit in the seat of sinners. Don't walk in the way of mockers. Right? All that means is, like, be careful with the people that you're around. Right? Don't be in the company of complainers. Don't surround yourself with people that is not going to build you up, right? Surround yourself with people that help you hold on to what is good, that see the best in the world. You know that person that always makes you feel good because they can always bring out a compliment out of anything? Those are the people you gravitate towards. Strive to be that kind of person. Hold on to what is good, not only in just like the general stuff, but when it comes to your dating relationships, there's so many of us that because of our own insecurities and afraid of being alone and afraid of like not winding up with somebody, that we settle and we allow ourselves to get into relationships with people who just are not good for us, who don't hold tightly to what is good themselves, right? We want people who make wise decisions, who are good for us, who encourage us when we're down, somebody who respects our boundaries. If someone's pushing you to do something you're not comfortable with, they're not holding on to what is good, they're not honoring themselves, and they're not honoring you. Okay? So hold on to what is good. The people who make you better, and the people who help you become the person you want yourself to be. Do you guys do this thing where like you envision yourself as this better version of yourself than what you are? Right? I do this all the time. Like I see this image of myself, and it's really how I wish I was, but it's not necessarily how I always am. Right? We want people who help us see ourselves in that version of ourselves more often and help bring us to be the best version of ourselves. Put those people close to you. I love how Paul says it in verse 10 where he says, love each other with genuine affection and take delight in honoring each other. Genuine is just another way of saying real. Right? Have genuine affection. Be real. Okay? How many you can see through fake, right? You can see through when people are not being real with you. Okay? Don't be the kind of person that puts up that face, that puts up that fence, that decides not to be real with people. Okay? Allow yourself to be genuine. Okay? Love each other with genuine affection. You want somebody, the people that are close to your lives, you want the person that you want to date someday, or if you're dating someone now, look through this filter. Are they real? And is the real version of themselves good? Right? And when I mean good, when I say good, I mean someone who holds on to God's standards more than their own. Because our standards, well, let's be honest. If we want to do something, we will find any excuse to justify what we want to do to make it the right thing. but you want someone who's real, and the realest version of themselves is to do good in the eyes of the Lord. If you find someone like that, that's a catfish mama you want to hold on to, boys. Girls, if you find a dude that is genuinely after God's heart, like we talked about this weekend, that's the kind of guy you want, because he's going to take care of you. Because as Christians, we're supposed to take care of the people around us the way that Jesus took care of the church. And how did he take care of the church? How did he take care of us? He laid down his life. He laid down his own desires. He laid down what he wanted for what was best for others. You want someone like that. Girls, you want a man like that. And guys, you want a girl who's willing to tell you and put you in your place in a loving way for the sake of the gospel. Someone who is able to point you towards Jesus more than themselves or yourself. You want someone who's real and good. It's important to have real talk about relationships. Oftentimes when we jump into romantic relationships especially, we don't even talk about the real stuff. Do you like me? Yeah. Do you like me? Yeah. Cool. And for most of us, that's good enough, especially at your age. But I'm telling you, it's got to be more than that. If you want successful relationships, you got to have real talk with each other. You got to talk about your priorities. You got to talk about what is important in life. Okay? I want you to, first off, pay attention to where you're running. Okay? Paul says to run with perseverance the race that is marked out for us. Okay? That means don't give up. Run in the direction of Jesus. How many of you guys are runners? You do track or cross country, or maybe any sport where you have to condition and you have to do some running. Okay? How many of you, it's way easier when you're at practice and you're running with somebody. When you have to do that mile, you kind of push each other to stay on pace. You want somebody like that. You want to run with somebody who's running in the same direction as you. Okay? You don't want to run with somebody, if somebody is slowing down and they're getting distracted by the scenery or they're giving up, like, you don't want to slow down and wait for them at your own expense. You want to still press forward. So run with people who are running at your pace, okay, who are running towards Jesus. Don't run with people who are running away from Jesus, who are running away from the good things that God has for their lives. Okay, run with people who are running in the same direction as you. Pay attention to where you're running and pay attention to who is running with you. If your eyes are fixed on Jesus and the people that you allow closest to you, I'm not saying don't have non-Christian friends, because you should, but the people that you allow in your inner circle, the people that are closest to you, if you're all running towards Jesus together, that's the best way that you're going to find real relationships. It's important to have real talk about your relationships. So, as you guys get ready to go into your groups, think about this. What's one thing you're running towards right now? Okay? And it's okay to be honest. Sometimes it's not always Jesus that we're running to. Some of us, if you want to know a good way to figure out what you're running to, where are you spending the most of your free time? What are the things you're doing in your free time, and what are the things that you're thinking about most often? Those are probably the things you're running towards. So think about what's one thing you're running towards right now. I'm going to pray, and you guys can finish out our time in our groups.